Yo, so I kind of fucked up this video a little bit. Like, there's just like a little bit of misinformation at one point, but I'll just interject when the time comes. And my mistakes actually ultimately led me to uncover the real reason behind the whole vaping crisis, so yeah. Hey you! Do you enjoy smoking tobacco but still want to avoid the negative health risks associated with cigarettes? Well boy, do I have good news for you. All thanks to vaping. It's like smoking, but healthy. So what are you waiting for? Start vaping today.
Seemingly healthy Texas teenager suddenly unable to breathe.
Carry a number of health
An astonishing 900% among high school
CDC
students.
continues to investigate.
They're deliberately appealing to kids.
It's a huge problem.
Alright, I'm not really one to care about drug use or anything like that. Don't do drugs, they're bad. But the situation with vaping has gotten out of hand on so many levels, so I feel like I just had to make a video about this. In recent weeks too, like the government and other health organizations are making quite a fuss about this teen vaping crisis. And I just feel like there's a lot of like media and online sources being painted by these like middle-aged adults who are just saying their opinions and don't really know that much about vaping and what the actual issue is.
I don't know how any of this works at all. So where do you put the fluid? Why do you need power?
Like everyone's basically blaming the vape companies and the technology itself, when in reality it's really not that black and white. Me being a college student and have firsthand seen the advancement of this technology and also like the people that are just purchasing it, I think I am more than qualified than these random old people to break down why this vaping crisis is happening. So let's jump right in. First thing, accessibility. Vaping is crazy accessible. I go to college, right? And kids will literally hit their vapes in lecture. That's crazy. But also this accessibility component is actually what's getting people into these e-cigs to begin with. People that otherwise would not have ingested nicotine in any form are now getting addicted to nicotine because of how accessible it is. Oh, I could go for some nicotine right now. Bro, do you want some? I'm good, actually. Dude, come on. It's right here. You're not gonna get in trouble. No one's gonna know that you did this. Like, do it. Okay. Yeah! So now people can ingest way more nicotine in e-cig smoke than they would if they were just smoking cigarettes. Something I didn't mention here is that nicotine is actually really bad for you just on its own. I guess I kind of assume that people know this, but I think it's worth mentioning because that also makes this whole like high school vaping epidemic even more significant. Although e-cigs with nicotine pods in them are actually not the reason why we have kids dying right now. But we'll get more into that later. So we have people just voluntarily giving themselves nicotine addiction. Crazy stuff. But perhaps even crazier is how this accessibility applies to kids and teens, which is of course my next point, kids/teens. So while the goal of e-cigs was initially meant to attract the cigarette market, it actually overwhelmingly targeted the non-smoking youth. That's right, kids! Which I don't think is entirely the fault of the vape companies. They just made a technology that was really accessible and easy to use. So kids could use e-cigs and vape discreetly without their parents or teachers finding out or anything, But the more messed up thing is how these companies responded to this shift in their demographic. Yo, Brian, can you come here?
Yeah, what's up?
Look at our analytics.
Huh. Interesting.
So we're gonna capitalize on
Totally,
this, right?
right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Cool.
America! So this is where new vape companies started popping up left and right with kids as their primary target demographic. Like there's this one brand of e-cig called Lava. Yo, you wanna hit the lava? And this brand is blatantly targeted towards kids and it's gaining traction fast. First off, just look at it, all right? Like it looks like a freaking toy. Like it even has rounded edges to ensure safe use for kids. And let me just read the flavors for you. Blueberry, apple, watermelon, strawberry, pink lemonade, summer passion, cotton candy. And the worst part of this all is that a lot of smoke shops will just sell to kids now. And it's lucrative, like what's more important? Being a morally good person or securing the bag? I think we all know what capitalist society has taught us, so... And it's crazy how these kids are even getting into e-cigs, which is an important part as to understand why we have this crisis in the first place. And the answer to that is head rushing. So for those of you that don't know, for someone that is not addicted to nicotine, head rushing is the sensation you get when you ingest nicotine and your body doesn't have much of a tolerance for it. It's a physical sensation that washes over the entire body and mind in a brief state of euphoria. So kids, not having any experience with nicotine addiction, are gonna try one of their friends' Ecigs to get a head rush. They love the feeling of it and they want more, so they keep hitting their friends' vapes until they eventually just get their own. However, it starts taking more and more hits for them to get a head rush until eventually they just can't get a head rush anymore. And at that point, you're addicted to nicotine. I've literally seen this happen firsthand countless times. And the kids that are getting respiratory problems now were the first of their friends to get e-cigs when they were like coming out and stuff and never ended up quitting. That last part is actually not true. While e-cigs do have a lot of carcinogens and young people today are certainly using them too much, e-cigs like Juul and Lava and all them are not what's killing people right now. When doing research for this video the first time, that was what I was led to believe based on what was reported. But upon accidentally doing more research after this video was already filmed, I actually found that all the deaths and respiratory ailments are linked to something else entirely. And that is bootleg THC marijuana cartridges from the black market. You wouldn't know this because that's not what the media is reporting, but it all comes down to this oil called vitamin E acetate. This oil is safe as an agent to like put on your skin to cover up spots or whatever, you know? But it is very unsafe to put in e-liquid to inhale in the lungs. This is because the oil actually clumps up your lung fluid, which then doesn't allow for oxygen to transfer into the body, and then you die. So sketchy dealers are putting this stuff into the THC oil to make the cartridges look higher quality than they actually were. Ironically enough, it made the cartridges deadly. So basically, the real reason behind the vaping crisis as we know it is pretty much a media fabrication. There's two separate issues, which aren't really related to each other at all. The middle school / high school epidemic leading to widespread nicotine addiction and potential long-term health damage in the future. That's essentially what this video is illustrating, you know, how kids were getting exposed to and addicted to vaping in the first place. And then there's the black market THC cartridge epidemic, which is ultimately what's doing respiratory damage and killing kids right now. So the media used the recent deaths from the bootleg cartridges as ammunition to shoot down the vaping companies, which isn't really fair to the vaping companies because they didn't make the bootleg cartridges. I don't want to defend the vaping companies entirely, but if you use their products as intended and buy legit nicotine pods, it is going to be safer than actually smoking cigarettes. So those that are using e-cigs as an actual alternative to smoking shouldn't be forced to start smoking cigarettes again because the media wants to ban vaping from something entirely unrelated. But hey, you know, as the big man said himself,
fake news.
And that's pretty much it. As you can see, the whole thing is pretty fucked, but at least now you know what's really going on. And yeah, that's about it. I don't know if you guys remember what I said in my previous video, but I'm just gonna play the clip. I'll do my best to upload consistently. Actually, fuck that, I will upload consistently. All right, so no need to worry, no need to fret. Well, missed week 1. No, but I really had to rework this video to make it accurate and better and stuff. All right, from this point on though, I'll totally upload weekly, all right? Totally. Maybe. All right, I gotta go now, so I'll see ya. Thanks for watching.
What you call an icon living? Try to make a living,